It's tough to say. I mean, right when everybody thinks that half pipe riding won't really go any further, it's when I don't know, either something happens with the riders or something actually happens within the sport. Like the half pipes basically went from around 15, 16 feet to 22-foot walls. So that allows so much more time to spin and flip. And this season was, the breakout season for those half pipes actually to make it to the Olympics and make it into big events. And the next season coming up, you'll see 22-foot half pipes everywhere. And so I think when you do something like that, obviously, like, we went from having no double corks in the half pipe to having like 3 or 4 in a run. And now that's kind of like opened the gateway to those kind of tricks, I'm sure it's just gonna like explode from there. But I don't know. I can't really predict, I'd say, where it's gonna end up. But I know that the double corks are just, it's the tip of the iceberg with what's gonna happen there, I think. I'm sure it's gonna make my back hurt, but I'm sure it will end up being done at some point. It's not so much of if it can be done, but just like which way. I mean, there's so many different kind of options, and the double cork on itself is just like, it's such a monstrous trick to get around before you hit the snow. I can't even fathom going in for another tuck, but I'm sure it'll go somewhere. I mean, you never really know. I wouldn't want to say it can't be done and then see what happens. But I definitely think that anything's basically possible at this point. I know there's only one that's been done on a jump, I was told. I haven't gone online yet.
Yeah.
And, been savvy to the footage, but yeah, I wanna check it out. It's just interesting. Oh man, I don't know. You guys have Happy Gilmore down here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically ever since I was a kid, you'd watch that movie and you wanted the big check after every event. I know there's a big pile of them at the house somewhere. The best is that it's a mixture of giant checks and giant keys from like cars that you win. Giant Volvo keys and Jeep keys. And like, I think there's even a Suzuki in there, which is, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but yeah, I don't know. I'm actually not big on displaying my trophies and stuff. It's got to be something that I'm really proud of, or really, there's a memory tied to that. Right now, like the Olympic medals are just like sitting in a safe somewhere. Like I don't really put them out. I haven't really found a good way to do it. I always assume that somebody would come over and just be like, "Oh, cool, later," and just walk off with it. So I haven't really displayed them yet. But yeah, I had a big fireplace at home. It was like, because I had this big wall, and it was getting. I'm gonna sound like a terrible guy, but it was getting, full of different things. I mean, gotta imagine since I was younger, doing well at contests, you just accumulate these random metal objects, and so yeah, I just stash them all over the place. Definitely Olympics. But I'd have to say the only one that battles the Olympic medal would be my X Games medal in skateboarding. You know what I mean? Because it's just something that's so different. It's just like something I had dreamed about doing since I was a kid, and actually accomplishing that to get like winter and summer gold, and then the Olympics is a monster of its own. But I don't know, that something about that X Games skate medal is just like, I felt the best. It felt like I truly accomplished something amazing to actually podium and not only be into sports, but to actually have them at the same level of like actually winning events. It takes a lot of effort. I don't know, it's strange. I mean, every single year has its own thing that kind of pushes me. And right when I think that I'm never gonna learn another trick and I'm over it and I'm tired and I don't have it in me to do something new, that's usually when I'll get inspired by something. That's why having friends with you is the best thing in the world, to have people around you riding and not even like pushing you to do things, just to push you to have fun, enjoy yourself. Because right when I'm up there and I'm thinking like, oh, I need to train for this event, and this is like, I need to do 30 of these tricks every day. It doesn't work like that. It's not a training regimen. It's like you got to be inspired to learn something new, a different grab, a different twist, a different kind of approach to a trick that's always going to make it your own instead of something that somebody else is doing. But I don't know. I mean, obviously this last season was the Olympics. I mean, you use something that big and massive to put in your sights, and then you just work your way up toward it. You know what I mean? Every single step in that direction is the right one, and one more step closer to what you want to accomplish. And so I remember sitting there, man, I was trying to learn double McTwist 1260s. I'm sitting there and it's like freezing cold. The weather's just terrible out. It's like all fog and really low light, to where basically when you're flipping and spinning, the sky matches the snow. And the only thing that's going to save your life is that blue line that they put in the half pipe. And so I'm just praying that I see this blue line as I come flipping through the air. And I mean, those moments are the times when I'm sitting there like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want to be doing this. Isn't fun. This is like, okay, like I really gotta dig deep and like, do this. And so in those moments, that's where you really kind of you need something extra to push you, and having an event like the Olympics, or having some sort of goal in sight always helps. Yeah, I mean, it's strange for me. I always feel like doing something like that would be really fun for me, or a little different, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know as much about the backcountry, because the times I've gone, I mean, I'd go heliboarding in Alaska, or heliboarding in Canada, or Chile, something like that. And to be honest, it's such a process. I mean, you want to go and ride powder and have fun, have a good time. And anybody who's ever been on a backcountry shoot will know that it is one of the toughest things in the world to do, because you're just sitting there for hours and hours. You got to build the jump. You got to wait for the camera guy to like get down into the right position, and then I mean, it's so involved. It's such like a process. It's kind of like the idea of like people that compete in surfing. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you could be in such like a peaceful, happy place and be all stressed about catching waves. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Going into the backcountry and like filming out there just seems like, God, I just want to ride at the bottom. I just want to go. I don't want to think about where this guy's at, and you're throwing the snowball. Like, I think I'm gonna land over here. Right there? No, over here. You know what I mean? It's just such a process. But I love the idea of like going out there riding, mess around. We did a bunch of stuff in Japan with Red Bull, and that was like this really fun thing. We called it Big in Japan. Messed around out there and did a bunch of backcountry stuff, and that was really cool. But I haven't had the urge to just full dedicate a season to a snowboard part. It's kind of like an old school mentality. You know, I mean, everybody gets their information from the internet, and it's just so updated that having like the whole video part that comes out at the end of the year would be like, cool, we've already seen all of this in photos and video clips that are on YouTube. It definitely would get leaked and never really make it. But yeah, I'd love to do that. Joe, when's the next Oakley trip? Sounds great. It's next winter. We'll be doing it. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do something like that. I'd love to, make another White album, or do some big film project like that. Just because I feel like I have the means now to do it like on a next level. You know what I mean? Just like a big budget, really get like some amazing shots that you would never really see. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you can watch a nature channel and be like, wow, this is cool. It's like Earth showing different things, and then all of a sudden you watch like the Blu-ray Planet Earth, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is next level. I mean, I could have never imagined this is what it was like. I'd love to come out with something like that, where you just show the in-depth of what happens, and that there's actually like an art to the sport. You know what I mean? You're being creative, you're doing your own thing, you're turning nothing into something. You're basically taking this like open landscape and going, all right, I'm gonna do this trick here, and then I'm gonna go do that, and I'm gonna turn this into a big slash, and then you know what I mean? You really would be able to I don't know, go to town and then capture that in a way that would be appealing to not only, I feel like, snowboarding enthusiasts. I don't know why I use that word, but you know, not only that, but just like the mainstream. I love the idea that you could make a project that would reach out and branch out to more than just the core group that you're already known with. You know what I mean? Just to bring more people to the sport, kind of introduce that. It depends on what I'm going for, you know what I mean? Obviously, every place has its own special, I guess, vibe or appeal, you know what I mean? Like, I like coming to New Zealand because it's like that one dedicated park, and you know, there's a certain vibe in Wanaka, and like hanging with people, and I don't know, I guess the one that's the most strange, or the one that's like you wouldn't think it's that rad, is Japan. I mean, the place is really fun. It's like you go up there, just the language, the way people act, the way, you know, you're up in this, tucked away up in these mountains like Hokkaido, or you know, what is it, outside of Osaka kind of area?
Near Sapporo.
Near Sapporo, yeah. But it's so much fun because you go to this place, you gotta take your shoes off before you go into the hotel. I mean, I obviously look at more than just what the terrain is like, but you know, even for that, I mean, it's really fun. And there's something about the culture there. Everybody's so polite that they all stay on the trail. So like just off the trail is like the best snow you've ever had. I'm like the terrible American that like getting my pass pulled. Ever had. One of my favorite stories from Japan was I was I was on the chairlift, and we're basically going up the chair, and right below us, it was amazing. It was like the best powder run you've ever seen. At least the best powder run on the mountain. And I'm just like, you know, I'm over it. And I ended up jumping off the chairlift and like hit the POW, just ripped all the way down to the bottom, just like going to town, like little cliffs and drops, and it was like one of the best runs ever. And I got to the bottom and it did the total where it mellowed out. And there I am, I'm like stuck in this gully of like deep, like waist deep snow. And sure enough, I look over and there's a ski patrol there on the snowmobile, and they have sirens on the sleds out there, and he rips a siren on and starts booking it at me, and I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna get my pass pulled. Then I'm like, wait, I'm in Japan. So I'm like, help! Help! Like, he's like, oh, rips over there, he like throws me on the back. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Like, woo! I barely, you know, he takes me out of there, and you know, he's like, all right, gonna be good? You know what I mean? He gave me a high five, and that was it. I was like, there's no way you could pull that in the States or anywhere else. I mean, they're just savvy to the fact that you jumped off the chair, but Japan, got a high five. I don't know, I mean, I to be honest, my most relaxing time is when I'm doing something, if that makes any sense. Like, if I have something in my way, it's always the best. Like during the Olympics was like somewhat of bliss for me, because I don't know, I had purpose. I had this like direction of what I wanted to do. So everything else around that was like, okay, cool, this is my break time for that. Okay, this is what I'm gonna, you know, practice in order to get to this place. I mean, everything kind of had sense and had direction and purpose. This right now is like the tough times where it's like, what do I want to do? I guess we'll cruise to Australia and go hang out a bit, or I'm gonna go surf the Maldives after this. Like, those are definitely fun times, but I've been traveling so much at a young age that like the only way I can compare it is like when you were younger and you would go play out in the street or whatever, knowing that you had to do your homework still, but there's something in the back of your mind telling you you have to do your homework. It's something like that, but I have nothing to do. I'm like, God, shouldn't I be? There's got to be something. I'm supposed to do something. I know I'm supposed to do something. You know what I mean? It's just like, nope, you got nothing to do. It's like one of those things that I gotta get used to, like the down times. But I mean, I love to skate. I love to surf. You know, snowboarding. Obviously, these sports are what really kind of make the world go round for me. So when I'm not skating vert ramps, like yeah, we skated the bowl at the beach the other day. And how do you pronounce it? Bondi? Yeah, Bondi Beach. And then I don't know. I'm always messing around, but I play a lot of guitar, so that really kind of relaxes me. That's what I do to mellow out, you know, because it's the only thing I can do that I'm actually sitting while still doing something.